is going on, everybody? It is your boy Arrows, and we are back. We're talking about Disney Lorcana. Disney Lorcana. This past weekend, it was the first North American DLC. Even though I don't know why I'm calling it a North American DLC when it is just an American DLC, because all three of the DLCs for this side of the world are, of course, being held in America. Canadian boy over here crying. But that is a story for another day. That is a story that's already been talked about. We are moving on. We are talking about the amazing DLC that happened this past weekend in Milwaukee. If you guys do not know, in Lorcana, DLC is not downloadable content. It is, in fact, a Disney Lorcana challenge. I would attribute this to a regional level event for other card games. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Pokemon, Cookie Run. I don't actually know if they have organized play for Cookie Run, but if they do, that's actually a really fun card game, and it's really cheap. Pick up a couple starter decks, play some Cookie Run. It is actually super fun. This one was, of course, held in Milwaukee. It had 2,028 players. That's not a lot of people loving Disney. A lot of people loving Lorcana. Good stuff all around. A ton of great stories coming out of this event, including the top 8 player Aiden, 10-year-old boy, becoming the youngest person to get the Golden Mickey, finishing top 8 after beating the former world champion DKP. I cannot pronounce his full name, and I do not want to do the injustice of butchering such a great player's name. Took him out in the top 16 to make the top 8, piloting Amber, Steel, Aggro. The top 4 was actually pretty solid. We had, of course, our winner, Frank Karsten, running Amethyst, Steel, Evasives. Then we had our second place, Junior Franco, piloting Sapphire, Amethyst, Dumbo. Third place was Daniel Arnold, playing Amber, Emerald, Aggro. And then we had another Amethyst, Steel, Evasive being piloted by Jonathan Williams, coming in the 4th spot. We had a Steel, and then we had a Steel, Aiden's Steel, Amber, Aggro in the top 8 as well. So we're going to look at the top 4 decks. We'll look at the Amber Emerald deck, and then we'll talk about what this means for the format going forward. We got a lot of content coming out over the next couple weeks for you guys. We're back doing our Lorcana thing. We're going to be putting out color by color reviews of the Whispers in the Well set. We do have the entire set out now, so tune in over the next couple days, weeks, probably not weeks, but a couple days this week and next week to check out what I think about the set going forward. We're going to talk about all the different colors, talk about all the cards coming out for the colors, what I think they're going to do for the certain decks that they really work into, and it's going to be a fun time. I'm actually really excited for Whispers in the Well, but that is a video for a different day. Let's get into what we're talking about now. Let's look at the first place deck list, of course, piloted by Frank Karsten. Like I said, 60 cards, 49 inkable, 11 non-inkable. Super good numbers. We love that. We have 4 copies of Captain Hook Forceful Duelist. Got Challenger 2. This package is just really strong. When I was at my set championships, I was talking to Lorcana Theo. Shout out to Lorcana Theo. We love Lorcana Theo. He's just amazing. Talk about the optimal play for this deck. One of the optimal plays for this deck being a turn 1 Captain Hook, turn 2 Calhoun, turn 3 Madam Mim Tiny Adversary, because it really puts a lot of board pressure on there for your opponent, especially in that Amber Steel Aggro, because this plus this really cuts down, and even this really cuts down on what they can do after that turn 3, because they're not doing a lot of damage back to you, and you are taking out a lot of their board. So we have our Captain Hook Forceful Duelist with the best art. Go away, set A art. 3 copies of Diablo Obedient Raven. This is our only way right now in a 1-drop to get some extra card draw. Obviously, Chernobog's Followers and the Magic Broom are gone. 2 copies of Happy Lively Night. I actually took this out of my deck. I'm going to put 2 copies back in because it's actually super smart, because this is another great card that works really well with Dumbo, and it also allows you to put pressure in with Madame Mim on your opponent's evasives as well. On your turn, it has evasive. One copy of the Palace Guard, Spectral Sentry. Honestly, a 1/4 body on a 1-drop is amazing. 3 copies of Calhoun, Marine Sergeant. Even if you never get a challenge off with this card, in the games I played on my set championship, this card puts so much board presence on the field in that early game. Because if you want to quest with something, you're gonna risk giving your opponent two lore. And with the resist 1 in those early games, you're gonna risk giving them that 2 lore without them taking any damage in return, and that is really scary when they can just take out your stuff with this combination of cards right here and really leave you grasping at straws in the mid game. 3 copies of Doc Bull Knight, discard your hand, draw 2 new cards. 1 copy of Madame Mim, Tiny Adversary. I generally see this in like the 1s or 2s. I'm testing 3. It really helped me today at my locals, but I don't know if it's going to be something that sticks around, but gives itself Challenger 1, and it gives all of your other characters Challenger 1. The Challenger plus number, whenever you challenge into an opponent's character, you gain whatever that number is to your attack power. So in the case of Calhoun, Marine Sergeant, Madam Mim would make it Challenger 1, which means it would get a +1 onto its strength, which would make it a 4/2, which is really great for KOing those daisies. Daisy Duck. We hate her. Actually, no, we 3 copies of Mr. Smee, Steadfast Mate. This is really strong because it gives you a turn 2 evasive play, which then you can either take out one of your opponent's other evasive characters that you normally couldn't hit, or you can tap it to get some extra lore on card draw with a Dumbo, 9th Wonder of the Universe. 2 copies of Raja, Ghostly Tiger, a 2-drop 3/3. We're never going to argue with that. It does come with the Vanish ability. Meaning that if it is targeted for a action by your opponent, it will just disappear. 1 copy of Timothy Q. Mouse, Flight Instructor. I like this card. If you have an evasive character on board, it'll quest for 2 instead of 1. Obviously, the pseudo evasives on your turn. Where is it? These pseudo evasives on your turn do count as evasive characters, so they will trigger off Let's Show 'em Dumbo, which is really cool. 4 copies of Genie Satisfied Dragon. Again, you're noticing a theme. We excuse me. We have an evasive or a pseudo evasive. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. The cat was getting into stuff. We have a evasive or a pseudo evasive at every level of our character drops, which is fantastic. This does the same thing. Pseudo evasive on a 3/4. Giant Cobra, Ghostly Serpent, pitch a card, gain 2 lore. We love this. Again, it also comes with the Vanish ability that if it's targeted for something, it goes away without anything else happening. Jafar, Aspiring Ruler, gives us something Challenger 2. This combined with like the Madam Mim lets us take out a lot of threats that we might not normally be able to on our own. 2 copies of the White Rose, Jewel of the Garden. When you play it, gain a lore. 2 copies of Tinkerbell, Fast Flyer. I always want to say Flash Flyer. 3 cost, 1/3, quest for 2, and has evasive. 4 copies of Dumbo, the 9th Wonder of the Universe. This is such a powerful card in this deck. It's a 4 cost, 3/3, quest for 1, has evasive. With the ability Breaking Records, you can pan ink, tap Dumbo, and draw a card to gain a lore, and then making history. Your other characters with evasive. So that includes the characters that have the evasive keyword, or these characters that say on our turn they gain evasive. You can pay 1, tap that character to draw a card and gain a lore. This is really good. Like in Lorcana, unlike other mana-based card games, your entire hand is also your mana pool. So on any given time on a turn, you're taking 2 cards out of your hand, 1 to play for ink, 1 to play on the field. Makes your hand drop really quickly. This helps you keep your hand good, helps you draw cards, which is always fantastic. 4 copies of Genie Wish Fulfilled, 4 cost, 2/4, quest for 2. When you play it, draw a card. It has evasive. 3 Yzma, Conniving Chemist. This is another one of those really great cards. Card draw is very important in this game because, like I said, you are using cards in your hand to ink, to have mana. and also to play on the field to win the game as well. So if you have these cards that enable you to draw cards, you are sitting very good in the game. Yzma is a 3/3 that quests for 2 and costs 4, is inkable, which is cool. With the ability Feel the Power. If you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw cards until you have 3. This is really good. You can play a bunch of stuff, get a bunch of cards. Dock up here, when you play them, you discard your hand, draw 2 cards. Right off the bat, you can, combination of that and that is going to give you more card draw off of Yzma. 2 copies of Bell Accomplished Mystic. Whenever you play this character, you can move damage up to 3 damage counters from one character to another opposing character. You can even move this around on your opponent's board to take out some threats, which is super, super cool. Quest for 2 has a 4/4 stat line on a 5-drop. We're not running a Bell to shift into. Not really solid options in this color combination. 4 copies of Elsa, the 5th Spirit. She has Rush, so she can challenge on the turn you play her, and Evasive as well. She's a 2/5, 5-drop. Quest for 1, but she also has the ability Crystallize, that when you play this character, you can exert an opposing character, tap them, and so you can challenge into them, which is really good for getting stuff like opposing Dumbos off the field before they can do anything, which is super important. This is where I really like this build of, and I'm really want to start experimenting with some of the stuff myself. I actually just need one more Tinkerbell Fast Flyer, and Scar Finally King. Scar Finally King. Scar is a 5/4 uninkable 5-drop quest for 2. Has the ability is Be Grateful. Your ally characters get +1 strength. Got a lot of allies in here that are going to benefit from that ability immensely. And then for Stick With Me, its ability at the end of turn, if Scar is exerted, you can draw cards equal to you can choose an ally, draw cards equal to the strength of that ally, and then banish that card. So if you have the Scar out and you play your Doc, you draw your 2 cards, Scar's exerted, you can banish Doc. Scar's on the field, it's gonna be a 2. You're gonna get to draw 2 additional cards, and you get a kind of dead card off the field after you've played it, keeping stuff that your opponent might be able to do, like if you're playing his challenge, keeps your number of challengeable characters off the board, which is super, super. Then, of course, Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. When you play this character, deal 1 damage to each opposing character, which is super important. Gets around things like ward. Good stuff. And then the ability Puny Pirate during your turn. Whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may deal 2 damage to opposing character. She quests for 2, 4/5, has 6 cost. Fantastic. Going into the rest of the deck, we have 1 copy of Hypnotic Strength. Draw a card. Chosen character gains challenger 2 this turn. They get an additional 2 attack power when they challenge. This is also going to be used to play on opposing banished characters, illusions, to just get them off the board, which is kind of silly. Then rounding out, we have 4 Strength of Raging Fire. This deck literally is gas. It just wants to have a strong start, get a bunch of stuff on the board, hit you for some strong Strength of Raging Fires, get a ton of card draw going on, and just generally make your opponent's life miserable, and we love to see it. I really like the inclusion of the Scar. I think even as a 1 cost, as a 1 of, having one of these on the field for a couple turns is really, really clutch. Like I said, there is a ton of allies in here that you can pitch to draw cards, especially boosted off of Scar's ability. You'd have Happy, which would give you 3. You'd have Genie, which would give you 4. Like tons of this would give you 5, which is insane. Ton of great value out of this card. You have to discard 2 cards, but if you've drawn like 5, the discard, oh no. Looking at the rest of our top, we had Sapphire Amethyst coming in our 2nd place spot, being piloted by Junior Franco. We have 4 Basil Practice Detective. This card is so clutch for this deck because it enables it to really keep pace with some of these, more aggressive decks. This deck is obviously very mid-range when it needs to get a certain ink value before it can really start doing crazy stuff to you. So obviously, against the aggro decks, this is obviously a little bit more of a risky play. So we have like this Basil is just fantastic for this. It's a 2/1 for a 1-drop, quest for 1, and it has support. Whenever you quest with this card, you can give its attack power to another character for the turn, which is fantastic. We have 2 copies of Rafiki Mystical Fighter. This is your Captain Hook, more or less. Is a 0/2, but it's Challenger 3. So it will be a 3/2 when it challenges in something. Obviously, the disadvantage here from Hook is that it won't do anything back if your opponent takes it out. 4 copies of Tipo Growing Sun. This deck loves to ramp. Tipo, when you play it, you're going to be able to put another card from your hand into your ink exerted. We have 4 copies of Dumbo, 4 copies of Genie, 3 copies of Iago, a Spectral Parrot. I do like this more in the blue build. I have noticed that it is starting to see less play in a lot of Amethyst Steel builds because it does not give you immediate value like the Cobra does. So, but it still makes sense to have it in here because you still need a big body to take out threats. 3 copies of Madam Mim Elephant. Madam Mim Elephant, when you play this character, you have to bounce another character of yours to your hand, or you banish it. And at the start of your turn, you may move up to 2 damage counters from this character to chosen opposing character. She's a 3/7, so she's going to take some hits. Then you can move that damage off her to something else. 4 copies of Bell Accomplished Mystic. Again, this is just a really good card. And because you're moving damage, it gets around things with resist, which is super nice. 4 Elsa, the 5th Spirit. 1 Ursula, Voice Sealer. I'm really happy to see these decks running this card because it is really, really good. It is a 5 cost on a 3/4 body, quest for 1, and then Sing for Me. When you play this character, exert chosen opposing ready character. Then you may play a song with a cost equal to or less than the exerted character's cost for free. It's a really good card. You can exert this to play your song Into the Unknown. Just good stuff. 2 copies of TikTok. Again, another strong evasive presence on board. 4 copies of Hades Infernal Schemer. This is honestly one of the best removal cards that Sapphire has access to. 7 cost, 3/6. Quest for 2 has the ability. Is there a downside to this? I love the ability. When you play this character, you may put chosen opposing character into their player's inkwell face down. Really good. 1 Elsa, Spirit of Winter. She's an 8 cost, but she shifts for 6. We do have the 5th Spirit. And then she quests for 3, which is cool, and is a 4/6. She also has the ability Deep Freeze. When you play this character, you can choose up to 2 chosen characters. Exert up to 2 chosen characters. They cannot ready at the start of your opponent's next turn. Good. 2 Monstro, Infamous Whale. This is another great board wipe for this deck because it has the ability Full Breach. Choose and discard a card and ready this character. They can't quest, so you can quest for it, discard a card, ready it, have it crash into something, or you can just play it, have it crash into something, have it ready, have it crash into something else. Really good way of getting stuff off the field. We're running 11 actions, 3 copies of Hypnotic Strength. It is definitely much more needed in this deck than it is the Amethyst Steel versions because you need that extra strength quite often to take out some things. 2 Magical Maneuvers. Return chosen character of yours to your hand. Exert chosen character. I'm actually kind of contemplating running one of these in my Amethyst Steel because I think it has a lot of value for what I'm doing. 4 copies of Sail the Azure Sea. It is like Tipo sort of, but you can play an additional card. And the difference is with Tipo, you can put an uninkable in your inkwell, whereas this one, the other card you ink has to be inkable. 2 copies of Finders Keepers. This is another card I've noticed that is completely non-existent in the Amethyst Steel builds now, but it lets you draw 3 cards. Obviously, in this deck, because you are ramping so early, you can play this a lot earlier than turn 5, which is really cool. For songs, we have 1 copy of One Jump Ahead, 4 Into the Unknown. This is like the key clutch song because you can exert. You can put chosen character into their player's inkwell face down and exerted. And then second star to the right, draw 5 cards. Chosen player draws 5 cards and sing together for 10. So this was the second place. Flurple, very strong deck. Gonna get a lot stronger in um Whispers in the Well. I'm gonna be posting up deck lists on that later on this week. Yes, I see you. Third place, we had Amber Emerald Doggos, if you will. This deck is literal gas. This deck just wants to go, 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 go. And if you can stop it, you can stop it. If you can't stop it, you played a good game. We have 4 copies of Bobby Zimmerowski, a Spray Cheese Kid. He's a 1 cost, 1/2 quest for 1. When you play it, you can draw a card and then discard a card. 2 copies of Cursed Merfolk. It's a 1 cost uninkable 0/1 quest for 2. When this character is challenged, opponent chooses a card from their hand and discards it. 4 copies of Daisy Donald's Date. 1/4 quest for 2. When you quest with it, your opponent reveals top card of their deck. If it's a character, it gets added to their hand. If it's not a character, it goes to the bottom of their deck. 4 copies of Lady Decisive Dog. When you play a character, this character gets 1. And then when this character has 3 or more power, she gets 1 power. When this character has 3 or more power, she gets +2 lore. 4 copies of Lady Elegant Spaniard. Please stop. Elegant Spaniel. Please stop that. Has the ability when you have a character named Tramp in play, this character quests for 2. The 1 cost on a 1/2. 2 copies of Merryweather, the Good Fairy. She's a 1 cost inkable 1/2 quest for 1. When you play this character, you may pay 1 to give chosen character +2 this turn. Eating my webcam. 4 copies of Pluto, Friendly Pooch. So exciting to see Pluto back in play. He's a 1 cost uninkable 0/2 quest for 1, and then you can tap him and you pay 1 less for the next character you play. 4 copies of Go-Go Tomago. 2/2, 2 cost, quest for 1, has evasive, which is super cool. And then Stop Winding Woman Up. When you play this character, you may pay 2 to gain lore equal to the damage on chosen opposing character. 4 copies of Lilo Escape Artist. Please stop this right now. Cats. I love them, but this guy's a little jerk. Lilo Escape Artist, when she's in the discard pile at the start of your turn, you can pay her cost to bring her back exerted. 4 Tramp Enterprising Dog. He's a 2 cost, 1/3. If you have a character named Lady in play, you may pay 1 less to play this character. No Time for Wisecracks. When you play this character, chosen character of yours gets +1 for each character you have in play. This lets you take out threats that you might not normally be able to. For Ursula's Deceiver, this is super important because you absolutely need to get rid of your opponent's Strength of Raging Fires to really keep this deck going, because nothing in here has a ton of willpower. Lets you look in your opponent's hand, grab a song, and discard it. Lady Family Dog, 3 cost, 2/2. Quest for 2. When you play this character, you may play a character with 2 or less from your hand for free. 2 copies of Lewis Endearing Alligator. This card is really strong. The 4/3. It enters play exerted. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless, stop something from questing, which is super cool. 4 Lady Miss Park Avenue. She's a shift 3. You have 1, 2, 3 different ladies that you have 4 copies of to trigger this. Once you play her, she returns up to 2 characters with cost 2 or less from your discard to your hand. Just lets you keep going. 4 copies of Tramp Street Smart Dog. 7 cost, 2/6 for each character you have in play. You pay 1 less to play this character. And then when you play this character, you may draw a card for each other character you have in play, then choose and discard that many cards. And we have 3 Heffalumps and Woozles. Chosen opposing character can't quest during the next turn, draw a card. Then we have 3 copies of Under the Sea. So this deck is gas. It just literally wants to quest, and then stop you from doing stuff and win the game. And that is the top 4. We're going to look at this Amethyst Steel deck. I don't think there's a lot of difference in it. Okay, so there is some difference here. So this one, This is the 4th place one. Pretty much everything is the same except for we're running 2 Ravens, 2 Guards, 2 Tiny Adversaries, 2 Jafars. We're running 4 of the White Rose. So this was definitely something that wanted to like gain a lot of passive lore. 4 Yzmas, 2 Bells, 4 Elsas. What is missing? There's something missing from here. Maybe I'm just crazy. And then 2 Fire the Cannons and 4 Strength to Raging Fire. This build is very good too. I do like the build with the Scar even more, even though the Scar didn't. Even though the Scar, not just because the Scar won, but because I just think the Scar is just a really good idea. Oh yeah, this one isn't running like there's no Raja here. There's no just Raja. There's no Raja here. There's no Hypnotic Strength. So this is definitely a more like cut and paste, like fast build like that. And then we're gonna look at the top 8 deck that Aiden played because it is a Amber Steel aggro. So we're running 4 copies of Aurora Holding Court, arguably one of the best cards to come out of Fabled. It has it's a 1/2 quest for 1 on a 1-drop. Has the ability Royal Welcome. Whenever this character quests, you may pay 1 less for the next princess or queen character you play this turn. Obviously, the biggest benefit factor from this is Tiana, restaurant owner. She's a 3 cost, but with Aurora, you are able to play her on your turn too. Whenever a character of yours is challenged, while this character is exerted, the challenging character gets -3 this turn unless they pay 3. So we are of course running a ton of good stuff to keep this Tiana alive. We have 4 copies of Daisy Duck Donald's Date, 4 copies of Mulan Disguised Soldier. It's Bobby Zamaruski for steel. Draw a card and then discard a card. 4 copies of Rhino 1/16th Wolf. It is a 1-drop, 1/2. Quest for 1. Tiny Howl. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -1 until the start of your next turn. This is super important in the early game. 4 copies of Doc. 2 copies of Lilo Escape Artist. 4 Nala Undaunted Lioness. She is a 0/2 uninkable 2 that quests for 2. And then Determined Diversion. While this character has no damage, it gets +1 lore and gains resist 1. That on top of Tiana already making your opponent pay 3 to attack or having those characters lose 3 power is just craziness. We have Penny, 3 copies of Penny Bolt Person. When you play this character, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character and they gain resist 1. Again, more ways to keep Tiana alive. Keep all of your other things alive too. 4 copies of the Troubadour, musical narrator. He has resist 1 and singer 4. So even though he's a 2 cost, he can sing cost 4 or less. On a 1/3 that quests for 1. Lady Family Dog. 1 copy of Lilo Best Explorer Ever. It's a 3 cost, 2/2. When you play this character, your other characters gain Challenger 2. So this helps you clear out boards in the mirror matches, clear out boards on the Amber Emerald aggro match, and just is just a really good card. And then if you have another alien, I don't think anybody runs any other aliens. When she quests, your chosen alien character gets Challenger 2, and they can attack ready characters. 3 copies of Pete. Pete still remains a very relevant card in this meta because he shuts down actions. That's always going to be good. Talked about Tiana. 4 copies of Pluto Guard Dog. Pluto is a 1/5 that has quest for 1, 4-drop. Has the ability Good Boy. While he has no damage, he gets +4. So on that first swing, if you want to swing into Pluto, you're already losing 3 because of Tiana, and Pluto's going to hurt you. Feel bad. And then 4 copies of Rhino Power Hamster, Steel Amber, 4/3 quest for 2, shift 2. Well, this character has no damage. He gains resist 2 on top of Tiana already giving it resist 2. On top of Tiana, essentially already giving it resist 3 unless your opponent is going to pay 3 ink per challenge. Just a really good card. And then 3 Fire the Cannons and 4 Strength of a Raging Fire. Again, huge congratulations to Aiden. 10 years old, makes top 8 at a 2,000 person tournament, taking out the world champion player DKP in the top 16. Just a fantastic thing to see. We love when cool things like that happen in the card games. So thoughts coming out of Milwaukee. It seems like we are in a format with 4 really strong and powerful decks. This is what you want out of a card game. This is what you want in your card games. You want there to be metas where you have 4 decks, where you have multiple decks that are all really good, that any one of them can win a big event like this at any given time. The Lorcana, as a whole, the Lorcana competitive community is in a very healthy spot. We have 4 really strong decks right now in Amber Amethyst, Amethyst Sapphire, Amber Emerald, and Amber Steel. There is just a lot of cool things to be excited about in this game. Like even in the top 32, we have Sapphire Emerald Control. We have in the top 128, we have mid-range Ruby Amethyst. So we Amber Steel Emerald. Like there's a ton of really cool things happening in Lorcana right now, and it's really exciting to see that. Especially like in the top 32, we had a Steel Emerald aggro, which is super cool. And it's great because you have like varying costs here. Like this one was only $90 and it came in the top 8. This one was $109 because I think it's running. Hey, look at this build. Yes, I did. This one's 109 and it came 3rd place. Like, so like you can play this game on a budget, which is super nice and is also something you really want to see out of your card games. Yes, you could build the $302 deck, but you can do just as well and be just as successful with the $109 deck or the $90 deck. It's just really cool to see and be in this spot where there are all of these decks that are really good and they're all interacting with each other pretty well. But let me know what you guys think about Milwaukee. What do you think about the top cuts? Did you watch any of the stream? Did you enjoy the spice? I really enjoyed watching the games that I was able to watch. I think competitively, Lorcana is in a very healthy spot right now, and I'm very excited to see what new strategies Whispers in the Well bring, and also what existing strategies are boosted by the great new cards we are getting in that set. Don't forget, we are going to start putting out Whisper in the Well color reviews, color guides, color talks, if you will, in the next couple days, over the next week and a bit. So don't forget to check those out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your card games. And as always, I will see you when I see you. Bye.